Today is Wednesday, September 19th, 2018, and you're watching OC News. A Newport Beach surgeon and his girlfriend are accused of drugging and sexually assaulting 2 women, but authorities fear there may be close to 1,000 more. The rain may be gone, but residents in North and South Carolina are still fighting through rising floodwaters and heavy storm damage following Hurricane Florence.
We have not had a disaster like this one before.
Plus, 4 Pennsylvania residents were injured after a shooter opened fire in a district judge's office. Finally, Sesame Street writers stir up a controversy between 2 of its most beloved characters. All this and more. OC News starts now.
Welcome to OC News, and thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Matthey.
And I'm Amanda Garcia. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Breaking news on our top story. At least 3 more possible victims have come forward who say they were drugged and sexually assaulted by a Newport Beach surgeon and his female accomplice, bringing the total count to 6 victims. One of the women contacted investigators after the Orange County District Attorney announced charges against 38-year-old Dr. Grant Robichaux and 31-year-old Chris O'Reilly on September 18th, involving the first 2 women. The couple are accused of drugging their victims and bringing them back to a residence on 44th Street where they committed the alleged assaults. Authorities suspected there are upward of 1,000 additional victims. A raid of the surgeon's residence has found multiple videos and pictures documenting these sex crimes where women are highly intoxicated and beyond the ability to consent or resist. If you or anyone you know has additional information or had contact with the couple, please alert authorities by calling the number on your screen at 714-347-8794.
The reward for Newport Beach fugitive Peter Chadwick has increased. Chadwick was charged with murder for killing his wife back in 2012. In January of 2015, Chadwick disappeared on a $2 million bond prior to his court date. Newport Beach Police and U.S. Marshals have announced a $100,000 reward. The police will also be releasing a true crime podcast to spread word for the manhunt across the globe.
At least 3 people were injured, including a police officer, in a shooting in Masontown, Pennsylvania. The shooting took place at District Judge Daniel Shimshock's office on Wednesday afternoon. 2 of the injured victims were taken by helicopters for treatment. The officer was shot in the hand and was transported to a local hospital. A spokeswoman for the Fayette County reported that a person was pronounced dead. It is unclear whether the gunman was among those shot. There is no information on what the motive was.
The Supreme Court Justice confirmations are locked at a standstill. Democrats and Christine Blasey Ford want the FBI to investigate her claim that nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her when they were both teenagers. Republicans and President Trump say there's no need for more investigation and are pushing Ford to testify. President Trump voicing confidence today that his Supreme Court nominee will weather the sexual assault allegation made against him, casting doubt on Ford.
I want to see her. I really would want to see what she has to say.
House officials say there is no plan to withdraw Kavanaugh's nomination through the Monday hearing is still in question.
It'll be a long road ahead for residents in North and South Carolina. Devastating floods continue to plague the region, and the waters in some parts are still rising. CNN's Stephen Nanez has the details.
Our state took a gut punch.
The rain may be gone, but residents in North and South Carolina are still grappling with rising floodwaters and massive storm damage following Hurricane Florence.
This event's not over. The rivers are still cresting, and so we still have a lot of work to do when it comes to the life safety and life sustainment mission.
Hang in there, okay? Take care of the house.
President Donald Trump visited the storm-torn region on Wednesday as water overflows from rivers and creeks, rushing downstream to towns and cities. The Cape Fear River is expected to crest at 62 feet on Wednesday. Officials are urging residents to be patient and be ready for the long haul.
We will be there 100%. All of the folks from the federal government that are around the table, they're confirming it. That's why we started early, and we'll be here late. We're going to be with you, you know that.
The challenge now for state and federal officials is providing residents with the resources they need, for the thousands of people still in shelters to the tens of thousands of people who were impacted by the storm, which took dozens of lives.
We've got a long road ahead in the days and the months and even years ahead. We are a beacon in the South, and we have weathered storms before in our state. But, Mr. President, we have never seen one like this.
I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
Summer is coming to an end this weekend, but is the heat? Let's check in with May Moldez with weather.
Hey guys, this week we are actually heading into the fall weather, and we can break out those sweaters and boots if you wanted to.
Nice.
In other news, let's go ahead and look at our national weather forecast. And you can see here on the west coast, 73 degrees with 67s, and California is going to be 84 with 86. As we move on over to the Midwest, it's going to be very hot with 92s and 94s. Here in Texas, 90s as well. Very hot weather. And if we move over here to East Coast, as you can see here, New York area, 73 degrees, cooler than as we move over down to the map, 90 degrees and 88 here at Florida. Let's go ahead and look at our current weather for today. Temperatures 83 degrees with low 60s, wind 8 miles per hour, humidity at 38%, and our sun will set at 6:51 p.m. tonight. And let's go ahead and look at our 5-day weather forecast. So with Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it's all going to be 83 degrees with low 60s. And with Saturday, it's going to be the hottest day of the week with 89 degrees and 65, low 65. And Sunday, we go back down to 86 and low 63. And that's it for our weather today. Let's go ahead and go back to the desk.
Thank you, May. Well, Pedestrian Safety Enforcement Week is taking place on campus. Coming up, our reporter Michael Patterson has details on the importance of student and faculty safety.
And also find out what happened in our second week of NFL football for our two local teams.
Perfect.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi and transgender and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
If you're thinking about jaywalking across the street, you might want to reconsider. This week, police officers were on campus to educate students and faculty about the pedestrian safety. Our reporter, Michael Patterson, is live on the scene.
Thanks, Ryan. As you can see behind me is Nutwood and Commonwealth, one of the busiest streets Cal State Fullerton has to offer. Earlier, I spoke to a 7-year veteran of the Cal State Fullerton Police Department about a new pedestrian safety program they call Operation PED.
So Operation PED is a pedestrian safety campaign that we're running through the Cal State Fullerton Police Department, obviously for the safety of pedestrians. We're working mainly here on Nutwood at Commonwealth, Felino. We got one down at Arts and State College, right next to the SRC at Gym in West Campus. So we have a few intersections that we're kind of monitoring and trying to increase the safety there, because those are our main complaint areas as far as safety. Specifically here at Nutwood and Commonwealth, we've introduced the no turn on red the city of Fullerton has installed that and implemented it so that these vehicles are allowed to turn is during the green light, a green arrow. Any other time they are not allowed to turn. I've seen that quite a big change. In the very beginning we'd have groups of 20, 30 people violating at one time, and now you're seeing people start to hustle a little bit, maybe run or wait on the other side. So the amount of violations that we're witnessing have gone down dramatically.
As you can tell, Cal State Fullerton police officers have been making a sincere effort at trying to increase the safety of not only pedestrians, but bikers and car drivers as well. Reporting live from Nutwood and Commonwealth, for OC News, I'm Michael Patterson.
Now we're going to toss the ball to Brock Howard for this week's sports segment.
Hello Titans, and welcome to this week's sports. It's been a competitive week in both NFL football and Titan athletics, so sit back and enjoy the ride as we board this roller coaster of highlights. The LA Chargers picked up their first win of the season, defeating the Buffalo Bills on Sunday in Buffalo 31-20. As Rivers hands it off to Gordon for his first of 3 touchdowns. Smile for the cameras, boys. Rivers was able to find Gordon 2 more times in the end zone in the second quarter alone. Melvin Gordon matched his career high by scoring 3 touchdowns that game. Woo! Let's have another look at that big play. Oh yeah, get it, Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon with a little touchdown celebration. The Chargers were able to maintain a comfortable lead throughout most of the game, even though the Bills were able to score 2 more touchdowns in the second half. Thanks to the Chargers' lockdown defense, the Bolts were able to grab a few crucial picks off the Bills' rookie quarterback, Josh Allen, showing him that he's in the big boy leagues now. Late in the fourth quarter, the Bills were able to score 1 more touchdown, but it wasn't enough to beat the Chargers. The veteran quarterback, Phillip Rivers, showing the rookie some love after the game. The Chargers will be playing the Rams in a Battle of LA this coming Sunday. Speaking of the Rams, the Chargers will have to be prepared because their hometown rivals shut out the Arizona Cardinals 34-0. The Rams running back, Todd Gurley, ran it into the end zone twice before the end of the first half. Let's have another look at one of his runs. Whoo! Whoa, looks like he's having a seizure. At least he's got halftime to rest up. Not much has changed in the second half as Gurley runs the ball into the end zone. One more time, making it his 3rd touchdown of the day. Gurley's 3 touchdowns put him at 30 touchdowns total in just 4 seasons, which puts him into the Rams' elite company of one of 3 players to have done so. This Sunday should be exciting as the Rams take on the Chargers in a Battle of LA. The Titans just couldn't get it done this past Sunday's match against Cornell, losing 2-1 in Titan Stadium. Early on, Fullerton outplayed Cornell, earning 7 shots to their 4 shots in the first half. In the second half, Cornell came out guns blazing with 6 shots, 5 on goal. Paul-Andre Guerin had some clutch saves, racking up 5 for the night, but couldn't stop 2 from getting past him in the second half. Head coach George Kuntz shared a few words. Fullerton is looking to bounce back as they head east to take on Florida Gulf Coast this evening. A special thanks to Titan Sports for providing the excellent highlight footage for this week's sports segment. Reporting for OC News, I'm Brock Howard. Back to Ryan and Amanda.
Thank you, Brock. Orange County residents are paying more than national average for gas prices. How will this impact CSUF students? Coming up.
Also, after the break, stay tuned for an Emmy Awards recap and new details on the new Super Bowl halftime show headliner.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Welcome back to OC News. Orange County gas prices are on the rise and punishing students at Cal State Fullerton. With more on that, here's Ryan Osborne with the latest.
Thank you. According to the Daily Titan, a recent news break, you look at gas prices here in Orange County, they are up 75% over the California state average of $3.64. When you look at gas prices, they're hitting students the most, specifically at Cal State Fullerton. The director of parking and transportation on campus has recently said that over 50% of all students that attend the university are commuter students. That's where it hits the most for Cal State Fullerton. If students at Fullerton are looking to get a little bit of relief from that price at the pump that kind of punishes the paycheck, well, you can look at the Orange County Transit Authority. They're giving a 25% discount to all bus passes for students. Reporting live here in Fullerton, I'm Ryan Osborne for OC News.
Turning now to health news, nearly 1 in 11 middle and high school students in the U.S. have used marijuana in an e-cigarette. That's according to a new report using data from the 2016 National Youth Tobacco Survey. The data was collected from upwards of 20,000 students across the nation. The report found that 12.4% of high schoolers and 4.5% of middle schoolers had vaped marijuana. The combined total for the two groups was 8.9%. The level of marijuana vaping among these age groups is on par with or higher than previous studies. It comes after the head of the FDA demanded e-cigarette manufacturers show within the next 2 months how they plan to keep the e-cigs away from the kids.
Apple's new screen time feature could be the solution to helping college students' cell phone addiction. With the release of iOS 12, Apple added the screen time feature that will allow users to track their cell phone consumption. In a 2014 survey conducted by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, 60% of U.S. college students admit that they may be addicted to their cell phones. Researchers concluded that high usage of social media and the internet is related to poor sleep quality among college-age students. The screen time feature will allow users to limit their use of multiple social applications for a given time and send alerts once their time is up. A downtime feature is also included. The feature will lock multiple apps on the user's phone for a scheduled period, leaving access only to the user's choice of always allowed applications, thus avoiding those late night scrolls.
Sesame Street's Bert and Ernie are coming under fire. And guess who's headlining next year's Super Bowl halftime show? Our own Ashley Soriano is here with all things entertainment related. Ashley?
Thanks, Amanda. Let's start off with the highlights from this year's Emmy Awards. The Emmys brought on a range of surprises and one heartfelt speech given by 96-year-old actress Betty White. She received a standing ovation after her heartwarming speech on stage as she cracked jokes and reflected on her career in Hollywood. Director Glenn Weiss also stole the show with a marriage proposal. Weiss took to the stage to accept his award for outstanding directing for a variety special when he suddenly got down on one knee and asked his girlfriend Jan Svendsen to marry him. Weiss gave the details on the surprise proposal backstage, saying, "It has been an interesting couple of weeks in my life, and it became a thought, and the thought picked up steam as we got here. It was just a really magical moment." Speaking of magical moments, Maroon 5 fans are raging over the band's announcement that they will be headlining the 2019 Super Bowl halftime show. Adam Levine and his bandmates are set to take the stage on February 3rd at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Maroon 5 has yet to comment on their Super Bowl news, but fans still remain excited for the upcoming performance. In some more controversial news, are Sesame Street's Bert and Ernie a gay couple? Bert and Ernie have always been known as the two best friends ever since Sesame Street started back in 1969. However, the show's writer Mark Saltzman has recently confirmed the characters are a gay couple. The organization believes otherwise, saying, quote, "As we have always said, Bert and Ernie are best friends. They were created to teach preschoolers that people can be good friends with those who are very different from themselves," end quote. That's all the hot details we have today. Tune in next time for more on the latest in entertainment news.
That's our show for today, but before we say goodbye, here's a little fun fact for our viewers. Today is National Pirates Day. My favorite pirate film is probably the first Pirates of the Caribbean. What about you, Ryan?
Amanda, if I saw any of them, I could tell you. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. For more information, find us on our social media at OC News CSUF.
OC News is sponsored in part by Univision Communications, Southwest Airlines, and Casanova McCann.